So, you know how weird women are. They're the ones always bringing out the crystals or tarot cards, reading into the minds of men, annoying the hell out of them, by the way. We were formed by Carl Jung and Sigmond Freud. They were the last century's final kick to our collective asses in demonizing women. And whether either of them were conscious or not, that's what happened in the last 100 years. Women have been given first physical lobotomies by Freud in his hospitals. And Freud was Jewish in Germany. And he had a theory about women, that everything about them revolved around sexual fantasies. He was very insane. But Carl Jung was the one, when they split, when they stopped working or collaborating together, Carl Jung had come upon a vision. And it's been written in a book that he wrote called The Red Book. And that book was put away in a vault and not published. In fact, everybody said it was Carl Jung's insanity or decline into insanity that the book was derived. So they don't want that out there. Well, apparently archive.com published the book in 2012 or 13. And to me, it does not appear to be insane. It appears that Carl Jung came into awareness and did not want to compartmentalize people anymore because it builds prisons and makes people only conscious of what they believe in their label. Like the class I was in, anybody who takes this certification has to have a degree from a university. It's called administrative B level. And I don't have a degree because I couldn't study under Freud. I knew he was insane when I learned that that my psychology professors were saying women only wear lipstick, so men will look at her lips. And there I am, a 25-year-old student sitting at the back of the class with 18-year-olds wearing bright red lipstick. My professor had a physical problem. His eyes would water, like leak water. And he said at the beginning of the course that they will notice his eyes watering. And he said he can't help it. He said it's a physical thing. No, it's not. It's a consciousness thing. It will show up in the body. I call it the body syndrome. After pulling all of my self-education together, I call it the reckoning. And people who are unable to break from whatever they think they are and really truly be who they are, you can bring magic of abundance and peace and anything you want to your consciousness. But it takes an open mind, you see, and everything to do with education and being in boxes of labels by Freud and his mental labels. Every time a woman says she sees things other people don't, she is drugged and locked up. You can't tell a doctor the truth. She will be locked up. And many men as well now are, the instigators, the ones with critical thought, the ones who had mothers that made them have critical thoughts. That means be critical about what you're bringing into your brain. Don't accept everything at face value. Because what has happened in artificial intelligence in the last 100 years is driven women away from ever wanting to be born again. And I said 9 years ago, when I was downloaded with this spiritual information, I said, women are already leaving the building. Earth, you see, they can choose to come back as women or not. We can be anything we want. We can be a bird. We can be a tree. We can live in our consciousness of awareness without the body of a female, which has been forever corrupted in the minds of men. And now he just looks at her and sees either something for sex or her compassion, her empathy, her endless, infinite love, where she forgives over and over and over the abuse of men. That bit is why she won't be back. That is why you hear in so many songs, I will love you until I die. When she dies, she sees all. She sees what her sons are doing to women and children to get ahead, to beat the program, to compete, to be anything other than what he is. He's a physical being. He should be building infrastructure, houses, and releasing his energy, his big physical energy that way. But his voice is changing. It's becoming squeaky and childlike. And he has become more and more dependent on his brotherhood. And as a collective culture, the brotherhood blame women because of our education and Hollywood perpetuating that notion. For example, women are the least violent species on Earth. So rare is a violent woman. Now, she may emotionally react and throw things, but she does not perpetuate violence against men. What you'll see on TV and other platforms of artificial intelligence is an imbalance. You see more female murderers. You think they're all murderers. You get the idea, oh my God, women are crazy bitches. Or gold diggers, right? This is how women are portrayed in social media. And it's so imbalanced with the murder trials. You know, you'll see, oh, another woman killed her husband. And then they demonize her. It's propaganda to demonize women because the brotherhood are here to support each other. Collectively, they feel better when they belong to a club. And they collect these creatures, the club members, at fraternities, the highly educated, and the ones taking tests that show they don't mind being corrupt themselves are chosen to be CEOs, government officials, even politicians are selected and upheld by the same brotherhood. And they have certification on their wall. I am pretty sure you cannot be a judge or a president unless you're a member of this one particular fraternity club. And people get caught up, men get caught up in the fantasy of life because they are so supported. They believe themselves to be true. The one good news is if they had mothers who clung on to her spiritual gifts, then he can be okay. But if he had a mother who started drinking or popping pills or becoming anything other than a loving mother, she was taken by the two creatures at the turn of the last century. And this practice is why women are not returning to Earth, not choosing any role in a female body. And you may notice on television, a lot of the female actresses are men. They're not women at all, but they are men pretending to show you women in the most vile, whorish, airheaded, evil ways by algorithming or boosting up the problems of women, which is a rare thing, or perpetuated by abuse. And how would you know? How would you know it's not true? Women are love. They are empathy. They are compassion. And they are unconditional in their love. And they forgive. Without that kind of balance, you have aggression, alpha, and you have what women are left turning into men, short hair, shoulder pads. But now they have created a new version of a human on media platforms, and they don't have a human face at all. They are cartoon characters or graphic art. Certainly not real art, it's artificial art. Easy to do on a computer. But real art comes from the heart, and you can tell the difference. And I can tell the difference when I see aggression in a woman or this passive female wannabe in a man I know that their brains have been compartmentalized. I think the book, the Red Book, is available at archive.com. And I don't know if I recommend it or not, but Carl Jung had a vision of bloody rivers and a bloody ocean. And I have the same vision. So if he was insane, as Freud said he was, Carl Jung, then so am I. And so is Art Garfunkel, or Simon and Garfunkel there, when they had visions planted in their head. And this is a reality people are going to have to face, that getting away with things can seem easy, but at the end, everything is exposed. Nothing is hidden. And so if you feel like you're being watched, you are. You are. We are one and telepathic. And I can see in my own neighborhood watch, people are going insane. I'm located in Quebec City, and my neighbors are very nervous. The problem is they don't know why. That's the problem when you have anxiety, when you have depression. It's prudent to go back into your own childhood and look at the little child you were before you were judged or compartmentalized and put into a slot. Who do you think you were? What games did you enjoy? I already did my timeline and I'm shocked. I'm shocked that my childhood games and imagination played out my life, and it told me who I am. It told me what I would be doing. And had I stuck to it, I wouldn't have wasted all those years. But every step of my journey, I learn now, was perfect. There's no mistakes. Even when I thought I was really messing up bad because people judged me to be, I was not. I was doing my own thing. And so if you're like me and you've been judged harshly, maybe you could go back and see who you are. Maybe you want to break down the barrier. Maybe you want, to crack the ego, the fantasy, and see what rises. Because it could be a phoenix rising right out of you. Because You are a part of the sun. You are Christ material when you're born. And the only thing that makes us lose that flame is fear and being in a box you don't belong in. So take down the bars, open the mind, which works like a parachute. It only works when it's open, right? And your mind can free you from everything painful and allow you to live your way, the way you feel compelled or driven or called to play. It's time to play. That's what I'm doing. The last 9 years, I have been exposing on my channel the problem. I've been pointing out the pedophile nation. Christ, half my family are pedophiles, guys. And they bring in lots of kids to camping and picnics, and it all looks so good. And everybody wants to come to that party. And the other half are victims of the pedophile. And they are shamed as if they are the problem, or they caused the problem by the way they acted. Right? And I knew in my small way of exposing the family pedophiles would get me thrown out of the family. And it did. I'm out. I live in Quebec with no love at all. And if they cannot control the truth teller, if they can't shut her up, they will make her out to be the worst of the worst. And that is what Carl Jung and Sigmond Freud have done. And it has spread like wildfire to the students of all universities and to Hollywood, where they pretend, where they make things up out of thin air and expose it for you to see and believe that people actually live like filthy, rotten, corrupted pigs. And then you think it's okay, or you just get fed up and join the party. This is a message of extreme importance. Earth is leaving, or rather, the universe is leaving Earth. My visions are the same as Carl Jung, and they're not insane. They're a prediction of oceans of blood, block sun, and this it's a word, molten, M-O-L-T-O-N, I think, lava, molten lava, spreading like a delta to cover up every last bit of consciousness that has to do with demonizing your mothers. Because without her, you won't be born,